I was basically given an ultimatum to either get my life back together or lose my family and my children.
We were separated and needed help. We're at the end of my rope.
Me and my wife had just recently had a separation and a PPO was placed against me.
Didn't think there was any hope for us. And while at first my husband did not take the opportunity to use RU, I decided to take the opportunity for myself.
I remember when Jennifer and Daniel first came in, and I met with each of them individually. And I remember after they left, I got down on my knees and started praying and said, Lord, we need your help. This is going to be a big undertaking.
We devised a plan to help Dan help himself, and that was by getting protection with a PPO. And we gave him an ultimatum of getting help either through RU or through another program, so that way he could do better for himself. Of course, I was at a point where I didn't think there would be any hope for us. I just hoped and prayed that he could do something for himself.
I chose to come to the RU just thinking that I can go on ahead and fool everybody like I normally always do and just act like I'm getting better and get my family back, but little did I know God had other plans for me.
As we were going and meeting, it came very clear that we were going to need to make some changes and that some things were going to need to happen in order for Daniel to get clean and moving in the right direction.
This time he did go ahead and take the opportunity to use the RU program.
I would come to RU on Fridays and Sunday mornings, and I would basically just sit there and I was going through the motions, not really paying attention, just half listening to what was going on. And as time started going by, I was paying attention to what other people were saying, and things started slowly clicking in my head and would make sense to me.
Both of them were faithful in attending the things that they needed to attend and faithful to their Bible reading, faithful to their meetings. And it was neat to see how God began to work and change their life.
On October 5th, Brother Dalton was speaking that night, and I gave my life to the Lord. I got saved. I felt on fire. I felt totally different. I started doing more and more of my challenges. I started practicing the things that me and Pastor Scott would talk about during our one-on-one sessions, and things just started really clicking and working for me.
And I can say that it has done wonders for my family, where I did not think that we would ever be put together. I have found now that God definitely can do all things.
I remember the day that they walked into my office and Jennifer had a Christmas gift for Daniel and handed him the present. He opened it up and it was a heart, and on the heart it said, "Come home." And it was neat to see Daniel get all choked up and all crying as he was excited that their family was being put back together.
I was feeling the fire that I was walking around seeing everybody else and all their happiness and their joy, and I wanted that, and I had that finally. And I wasn't going to church on the Sundays at first. I would go to the RU and then I would leave. But I kept getting asked, hey, why don't you stay for the service? So I started saying for the service, I'd sit all the way in the back. But then every week I would move up a little bit more until I was sitting right up towards the front.
As Dan went through his journey to get where he needed to be, I also was taking the opportunity working with Pastor Scott to get where I needed to be. So where I thought I was supporting him in a journey for himself, his testimony, I actually found that this is my testimony. I need to find my own path with God while I support him finding his path with God.
I was feeling like I belonged here at this church. I felt like this was just a big family. Every time I came in, it was people that would talk to me and just would be nice to me, and you could tell it was real sincere.
With the help of everyone at First Baptist, I actually found the route for my testimony with God. My marriage is back on track with my husband and my kids, and I'm so thankful.
I could never thank God enough for everything that He has done for me. But the things that I can do is continue to stay in the Word and make God proud for everything that I do by living His way. I want to one day have Him say that He knows me.
As they continued, they've been faithful in church, faithful in growing in the Lord, faithful to be in their Bibles, and God has continued to change their life.
A verse that Pastor Howell was during one of his sermons in the morning, he had referenced this verse, which is Romans 12:2. It says, "And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God." The RU ministry has proved this verse to be true. They have transformed my mind, have let go my addiction of alcohol.
Now, the only thing I need to do is let God use my testimony the way that He sees fit, because I know that if I share my testimonies, others out there like us will know that if we can get through this, so can they.